Okay, so I've been drifting my New Edge Mustang basically bone stock for the past season. And as much as I love the car, I need to do some modifications on it now because I think I'm good enough to actually deserve to put an angle kit on this thing. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna put a Duncan Motors quick angle kit on this thing and see how it is. Let's get into it. Now, the main reason why I didn't go like crazy angle kit is because I still street drive the car. I want to have fun with it on a drift course, but I also want to be able to potentially reverse it back if I want to take it back on the track, or at least try to track it again with the angle kit on and see how that does. I'm always tempted to try stuff out. Since I got a couple track days under my belt at a regular track with this really is the drift car, so let's go. I want to really get into really making this more of a drift car. So first off, we're gonna do, I got the car up on jack stands in the front. We're gonna take the wheels off. I cocked it all the way to the left. That way we can get access to the wheel well easier. I already loosened the bolts up before I actually got it up on the jack stands, so it should come off easy. These are Falcon RT 615s, not the 660s, but they still did pretty good on track and they grip pretty well for drifting too. Next up, there's 2 crown nuts on this thing that probably haven't been taken off in a while. So I'm gonna hit it with some PB Blaster. Should help get it off easier. I'm using an impact gun on this. Just helps things come off easier. There we go. If you don't already have a ball joint separator, now's your chance to go get one, because you will spend all the live long day trying to get this puppy off, and this thing will pop it off right quick. I'm gonna torque this thing down, and you're gonna hear it go pop. Pop, go to weasel, because the weasel say pop. Tell me in the comments what movie that's from, and I'll respond. All right, next up in here, we have a 22mm crown nut, which means there's usually a cotter pin on it. And I'll try to save the cotter pin for when we are done, unless it breaks, and then I'll just use a new one. But you always want to make sure you have a cotter pin ready for this, because it's important so the nut doesn't come off. Once you get the cotter pin off, it is a 22mm, and it's pretty stubborn. I don't have the proper impact to get in there, but give it a little hammer, come right off. How this works is, this goes through the original spindle hole in the back. This goes through the front bolt hole here. This one goes on the old spindle hole, and then this becomes your new tie rod. What this will do is it'll actually move the wheel out, adjust the caster forward a hair, as well as give a lot more camber, which helps us when we're drifting. The only thing that the original instructions said was to drill this 1/2-inch hole for the tie rod out to 5/8, which on the other side I tried to do, and it was really a struggle. So I ended up getting a 1/2-inch bolt with a little spacer here that'll space it out to 5/8 that perfectly fits inside of that. And I'll show you how I did it to avoid drilling it out. And you can tell me in the comments if I'm crazy. First off, we'll get this guy on the back here. So I'm just gonna fit him nice and snug there. Get the washer for now. And we'll line up our holes for this and that there. And we'll put the bolts through. This guy goes on underneath. Typically fits through there. And we'll put it down here just until I can start threading around. I also messed up the threads on the ball joint, as you can see there, but I think I might be able to salvage it, or I'll just get a new ball joint. And then on this side is where the one that I'm going to show you is. So the bolts that are supplied in the kit are 5/8, but this is 1/2 inch. So if you don't want to drill this out, which to me, drilling out the other side was really, really difficult. This little spacer here fits perfectly in there. I'll show you. It fits perfectly in there, and then I put the bolt through, and it'll taper it off as I got to get it in. Obviously, the the shield is in the way here. Let's put that up there. Okay, and then that goes right in. Then I'll take another washer on the top, just to cover my own butt. Of course, I'm useless right now with these gloves on. And then lock nut on the top, 1/2 inch. And that got it in. So what I'll do is I'll put everything down, torque it down, I'll put the tie rod on, and then put the wheel back on, and we're done. But this saved me from having to drill this all the way out. And on the other side, it was really starting to cause a lot of heat. I was not really sure what that's going to do to the rest of this thing. So that saved me from having to do that. And like I said, let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy or if you think that was a good fix. I think other people have done it too. So let me know. Now there's no like super easy way to tighten the bottom, but 24 millimeter, I'll use the ratchet. And then it kind of like seats itself in as you go. And I can't really get a big socket on the top, so I just got a big crescent wrench. I'm sure there's other ways you can do it, but that's what I got. Once I get it close, we'll torque it down to spec. Alright, I'll do front. Front are two 19 millimeters. Now to the tie rod. This one also has a crown. Ironically, my front tie rods did not have cotter pins on them, so that makes me a little nervous, but it's fine. Okay, so as you can see, that is an insane amount of camber. I'm probably going to adjust that. But let's take a look at the angle. Pretty dope. I think it's hitting fender well there, but that is significant.
So I tried to adjust the camber as much as I could so it's not super aggressive, but it's got a pretty decent bulldog stance, which it's kind of growing on me. It's just not original and factory looking. But stay tuned, because the next video we're going to do is my experience with it at the next drift event. So I'm really excited to get this thing out there and start ripping with some actual angle this time. If you guys can't wait until next week's video, make sure to check out these videos that I already have ready to go.